All the water has been pulled out of those tomatoes, and now the tomatoes, they're swimming in their own juices.
We're eating green. Eating green. Eating green. We're eating green.
Hi friends, welcome to another episode of Eating Green, where we redefine cannabis-infused food. My name is Chef Jordan Wagman. About 6 years ago, I sought the help of a naturopath. At the age of 12, I was diagnosed with psoriasis, and I was tired of dealing with the effects. From this one meeting, I removed gluten, dairy, and refined sugar from my diet, and I started eating cannabis. 60 days later, my life changed. 30 pounds melted off my body, and my psoriasis started to go away. On today's episode of Eating Green, we are making cherry tomato vinaigrette, which is going to accompany my favorite summertime salad. Stay tuned. Here we go. Making cherry tomato vinaigrette could not be easier and starts with a warm cherry tomato puree. It has 2 ingredients, cherry tomatoes and olive oil. We add cherry tomatoes to a cold saucepan and we cover the bottom about 1/4 cup with olive oil. About 20 minutes later, we're going to see that all the tomatoes are covered in water. What happens is all the tomatoes split. All the water starts to come out, leaches right out of that tomato, and it starts to cover all the tomatoes. From there, we cool it down, and then we make our cherry tomato vinaigrette. Stay tuned. So it's been about 20 minutes. Our tomatoes, they look amazing. All the water has been pulled out of those tomatoes, and now the tomatoes, they're swimming in their own juices. We've cooled this down to room temperature, and we're ready to start making our cherry tomato vinaigrette. To a blender, we add our room temperature cherry tomato puree. We add pesto. This is homemade pesto, basil pesto. It has basil and scallions and chives and salt, pepper, and olive oil. That's it. No nuts, no cheese, because there's lots of allergies in and around my family. I want to make sure everyone can eat my food. Store-bought pesto is perfect. 2 tablespoons of store-bought pesto. Any pesto that you have is perfect. And last, one of my best ingredients, my favorite ingredients, one of my secret ingredients is coconut vinegar. Coconut vinegar is amazing. It brings so much acidity and sweetness to this vinaigrette. The star of the show is my cannabis oil. This vinaigrette is going to dress a salad for 4. I have an oil, a cannabis oil, that has 24 milligrams per milliliter. I have 1 milliliter. That means per serving, I'm serving 6 milligrams of THC. To this, I'm going to season with some freshly ground black pepper and some kosher salt and puree until smooth. Here we go. Our cherry tomato vinaigrette looks amazing. I wish you had that taste-o-vision and smell-o-vision I keep talking about. We're ready to assemble my favorite summer salad. I have lobster, I have boiled potatoes, I have toasted sesame seeds and olives that have been pitted and cut into small little chunks. And I have kohlrabi. Kohlrabi has a very apple-like texture to it, and if you don't like kohlrabi or don't cook with kohlrabi, apple would be a great substitute. We have some small red leaf lettuce, baby red leaf lettuce, and you can use whatever you want. Arugula would be amazing. And of course, my amazing infused cherry tomato vinaigrette. First thing, we're going to pour that cherry tomato vinaigrette into a bowl. And we're going to start to assemble. Now, any ingredients would work here. In the absence of lobster, shrimp would be amazing. Leftover chicken would be amazing. Steak leftover from the previous night would be amazing. The reason I like to include boiled potatoes is because they suck up all of those all of that gorgeous vinaigrette. We're just gonna add all of these ingredients to the bowl, and then we're gonna toss it all together to create our amazing garden-style salad. And there's our kohlrabi. Last, but certainly not least, our greens. This is a salad for 4. All of that beautiful vinaigrette is now gonna wilt down this lettuce. It's going to now absorb into those potatoes and then coat all of that kohlrabi. It's gonna be amazing. We're adding all of these greens in, and then we're gonna toss it all together. Stay with me. I've been tossing my salad around just for about a minute, and already you see that there's much less vinaigrette in this bowl. That's because the potatoes have started to absorb all of that amazing cherry tomato vinaigrette. All of the ingredients are nicely coated. We're gonna start to platter this. I'm gonna layer this right in the center of a white platter here. And this salad can be served in the summer, the spring. It's so gorgeous, especially if you're using your leftover ingredients. This vinaigrette is so amazing. We're just gonna pile all of this on right here, just like this. And I've got some gorgeous kohlrabi right on top here. We'll put this aside. And now we garnish with a little bit of that pesto that went inside a cherry tomato vinaigrette. And now we're just gonna give this some little shots of color right here, just like this. I'm gonna spread it all around. Gonna get a little bit right on that lobster. And there we go. Lobster salad with cherry tomato vinaigrette is done, and it's amazing. The vinaigrette was as simple as taking cherry tomatoes, rinsing them under warm water to get away all those impurities. We cover the bottom with olive oil, and we cover it with a tight-fitting lid, and we poach it until all of the juice comes out of those tomatoes, about 20 minutes. We cool that down, we combine it with some coconut vinegar and some pesto and some salt and pepper, and we buzz that up until it's emulsified. And then we mix it with our favorite salad. Today, my favorite, summertime lobster salad. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Eating Green. And don't forget, eating green.
We're eating green. Eating green. Eating green.